आनंदमयी चैतन्यमयी सत्यमयी परमे Sri Aurobindo and the mother is my refuge. Good evening, Namaste, Bande Matram. Welcome to this great session. And in this great session, the topic of this great session will be on the great Savitri. So we are going to discuss a topic, the spiritual topic we are going to discuss today, this evening, is on the great Savitri. Today we are going to know her greatness, how great she is. When normally man becomes great, with the example of Savitri, taking the example of Savitri's life, we will discuss everything on Sri Aurobindo's writing with his Sri Aurobindo's philosophy only. The topic of this discussion, of this evening's discussion, is on the great Savitri. Sri Aurobindo quotes, "The great are strongest when they stand alone. The great are strongest when they stand alone. A God-given might of being is their only strength. The great are strongest when they stand alone. A God-given might of being is their force. A ray from self-solitude of light, the guide. The soul that can live alone with itself meets God." The brilliant example, gloriously defined, and there can be no greatness than this great discussion, great writing by Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo quotes here, again I want to quote it: "The great are strongest when they stand alone." They have to stand alone. When they stand alone, alone in the battlefield, alone in the ambush, then they become the strongest. A God-given might is there. What is their force? A God-given might of being is their force. Then next what happens? A ray of self-solitude of light, the guide. What is their guide? Who guides them? A ray from self-solitude of light, the guide. Then Sri Aurobindo tries to summarize the things in a single line: the soul that can live alone with itself meets God. The soul that can live alone with itself, meets the God. So before going to this topic, we'll try to quote few lines, 2 or 3 definitions on this greatness from Sri Aurobindo's writings. Sri Aurobindo writes about the great men. Most great men know perfectly well that they are great. On great men, Sri Aurobindo quotes here, most great men know perfectly well that they are great. Then about their greatness, Sri Aurobindo quotes 2 lines, 2 messages. Man's greatness is not in what he is. Man's greatness is not what he is. As we have already known, we have heard the dialogue of Karna. To take birth in the high family, it is God's decision. But the personality is only mine and solely mine. I have possessed the personality, and that personality is mine. So this greatness here in the quotes, man's greatness is not in what he is, but then his greatness is known, but in what he makes possible. What he makes possible, that depends upon the personality, and it reflects his greatness. In another example, in another quotation here in the quotes, if greatness is not appreciated by men, somebody is possessing greatness, that greatness resides in somebody's heart, and it is also, he has proved it, he has manifested this greatness. If greatness is not appreciated, if this greatness nobody is by men, if men don't appreciate this greatness, the world will become mean, small, dull, narrow, and tamasic. So this greatness has to be appreciated. If this greatness is not appreciated, the world will become mean, small, dull, narrow, and tamasic. If suppose it is appreciated, just opposite, it will be something like sattvic, it will be big, it will be magnanimous, it will be great, it will be resourceful. So this greatness will try to emphasize, will try to see in life of Savitri, because we are going to discuss, the topic of this discussion is the greatness of Savitri. Already we know that is the, when the Narada is trying to reflect something, Sri Aurobindo's version, Sri Aurobindo's word in the mouth of Narada, it is reflected there. Here, in vain thou mournest that Satyavan must die. Beautifully quoted. In vain thou mourn that Satyavan must die, because we know 12 sweet wings months are given to him and her. This day returning Satyavan must die. So Satyavan must die couple of times, maybe 2 or 3 times has been quoted by Sri Aurobindo. Deliberately he has quoted Satyavan must die. And he emphasizes, he puts all his force upon this line, Satyavan must die. This was the day when Satyavan must die. So here also, his death is here in the quotes here. In vain thou mournest that Satyavan must die. For the second time. Initially he quoted, this was the day when Satyavan must die. This day returning Satyavan must die. And here also, in vain thou mournest that Satyavan must die. Then what is the significance? What is the mystery behind his death? His death is a beginning of greater life. Death is the spirit's opportunity. Death is the spirit's opportunity. So nothing to worry about, nothing to lament over the death, because it is the spirit's opportunity. A vast intention has brought two souls close. Two souls are there. One is Savitri and second is Satyavan. A vast intention has brought two souls close, and love and death conspire towards a great end. So there is a mystery. There is something, that mystery is there. There is something hidden. So love and, so there is a conspiracy. Who has done? Love and death conspire towards one great end. For out of the danger and pain, heaven bliss shall come. Time's unforeseen event, God's secret plan. So this is God's secret plan. It has been a conspiracy made by love and death. Something, one real hidden mystery is there. Things are staying concealed better behind the scene. So there is a purpose behind the stars we have to see. Sri Aurobindo again quotes, the world was not built by random bricks of chance. The world was not built with random bricks of chance. By decorating here and there, by randomly it is decorating, the world was not made. So how it was there? A blind God is not destiny's architect. This architect is not a blind God. Blind God is not destiny's architect. Then who has done all this? A conscious power has drawn the plan of life. The plan of life has been planned, sketched, drawn by a conscious power. So about this up and down, about this pain and suffering, about this smile and laughter, what is the purpose? Still in the course, there is a meaning in its curve and line. So behind the straight line, behind any curve, behind the laughter and behind the agony, behind the small happiness, behind the sorrowness, there is also a one God's a secret meaning is there. There is a meaning in which curve and line. Then Sri Aurobindo quotes again here about Savitri's greatness. We are going to trace upon Savitri's greatness. A day may come when she must stand unhelped. A day must come when she must stand unhelped. Like Abhimanyu, the story we have seen, that Chakravyuha we have read in Mahabharata, that Kurukshetra, that Mahabharata war we know. Then there alone was standing Abhimanyu among the 7 great warriors. In that Chakravyuha itself, you know the consequence. So he showed his courage, for which his history has been created from him. History has been rewritten and he has created history. Here also Sri Aurobindo quotes like this, a day may come when she must stand unhelped. On a dangerous brink of the world's doom and her, on this dangerous brink she may stand. carrying the world's future on her lonely breast. She is not fighting for herself because this fighting is going on since the time eternal, and there is the tussle, the strife, the war between the battle between love and death. Each time the death is winning and love is losing the game. For that, to change this cycle, to change this this battle, this strife, the destiny, mother has come down, she has come down. The silent force, for this, the silent force came mission down. Here, on a dangerous brink of world's doom and hearts, carrying the world's failure in her lonely breast, failure in her lonely breast, carrying the human heart in a heart-left soul to conquer or fail on a desperate verge. Still then, she has come with a mission. She has to fight from the beginning. She is keeping her will. She is there representing the divine. Here, to conquer or fail on a last desperate verge. Alone with death or close to extinction's edge, her single greatness in that last dire scene must cross alone a perilous bridge in time and reach an apex of world destiny where all is won or all is lost for man. Just imagine for what he is representing. Well, in another two lines as quoted by the mother, Sri Aurobindo speaks, writes, but mother quotes in her own voice, I am a deputy of the aspiring world. My spirit's liberty I ask for all. Not for myself I am come, because I am immortal in my mortality. Not as a suppliant to thy gates I came. She knows herself. She knows her mission. She knows the purpose of her coming. She knows what she has to do. When all is, and reach the apex of the world destiny, not her own destiny, and must cross along the perilous bridge in time and reach the apex of world destiny. World destiny, that apex is there. She has to come. For that, when all is won or all is lost for man. Then, after few lines here, Aurobindo writes here, alone she must conquer or alone must fall. It is the battle, soul in a solely, only a lone manner she is fighting the battle, and nobody is there. Gods above and nature's soul below are the spectator of that tremendous strife. Then what happens? Alone she must conquer or alone must fall. No human aid can reach her in that hour. No armored god stands shining at her side. Like this, you know, when Abhimanyu was fighting, neither her father was there, or Krishna was there, or four great fathers and big the relatives are great warriors like Bhima, Arjuna, Bhima, Nakula, Sahadeva, Yudhishthira. Nobody was there. Like this battle is again fought here. No human aid can reach at that hour. No armored god stands shining at our side. Cry not to heaven, for she alone can save. Still Narada assures, for this the silent force came mission down. For this is the purpose of her arrival, purpose of her birth. For this she has descended, she has been manifested, she has taken birth. With this mission, this silent force came down. In her, the conscious will took human shape. She only can save herself and save the world. Assures, she can save herself and save the world. O Queen, stand back from that stupendous scene. Come not between her and her hour of fate. Her hour must come, and none can intervene. It is destined that hour will come. The ordeal will come. She has to face, she has to strike, she has to battle. No, so you have no place there in that tremendous sin. You should be away. You should stay away. Think not to turn her from her heaven-sent task. Strive not to save her from her own high will. For that she has come. Thou hast no place in that tremendous strife. You can't have a place to stand there. You don't have any place here. Thy love and longing are not arbiters there. Leave the world's fate and her to the God's sole regard. Then what happens? Even if he seems to leave her to her lone strength, even though all falters and fails and sees an end, and the heart fails, and only are death and night, still then there is a chance she has come for that. God given her strength can battle against night. Even on a brink of day where death alone seems close, and no human strength can hinder or can help, still then is it there. Think not to intercede from her hidden will. Intrude not twixt her spirit and her force, and leave her to her mighty self and fate. Thank you.